So while Dante and Virgil were headed to the final circle, everything becomes dark, cold, and every inch is surrounded by ice. The strong winds were hitting the poets real hard, and it made them extremely difficult for them to see. And they had to rely heavily on their hearing. So once they reached the cliff for the final circle of hell, the deepest part of hell, it Dante saw a silhouette of towers, but then he turned to Virgil and said, "What city is this?" And Virgil then replied, "This isn't a city; those are giants."
The poet edged towards the giants, and Dante's fear grows. Dante blesses the heavens for not allowing the giants breed on earth. Virgil starts defying the giants, first pointing into Nimrod. Nimrod was one of the first and ancient kings of Babylon, responsible for the buildings of the towers of Babel. Babel is so ambitious in size it almost reached heaven. God himself struck the tower down for its arrogance.
So after God struck down the Tower of Babel, the languages and dialects split, so that's why we have all these different languages that we do today. And Nimrod's punishment was to never be understood and never to understand anything. So as a result, Nimrod only speaks incoherent nothings.
The next giant they meet is Antaeus. Antaeus is a great giant that eats lions. If he was born in the war of giants versus gods, he would have won the war.
Andreas lowers Virgil and Dante to the deepest level of hell, was the Circle 9, which is for the worst sinners and the treacherous. And he lowers them to like Lake Cocytus, which is a frozen lake. While he's walking, there are people who are like frozen in the lake, and like some of them are like just neck down, like he hears them crying for their sins. And the lake's real clear. It's reminiscent of a mirror, which he sees the evil, which helps others see the evil within him, and Dante sees some evil inside of him as well.
Dante is in Circle 9 for the treacherous. And while he's there, he sees all these heads shivering and all these sinning souls. They are extremely cold. And he then realizes that there are four rings inside Circle 9. The first ring where he's at right now is called Cana, named after the biblical murder of Cain. And while he's walking, he sees these two souls. They're so close together that their chests are touching and their hairs are conjoined. Dante then asks those sinners what's their name, but they mostly ignore him, butting their heads at each other. And another sinner lets them know that they are the Byzantine brothers. Those are the brothers who killed one another for politics, which are the perfect example of people who should be in the first ring, Circle 9. So Dante and Virgil keep walking to the next circle. And the next circle is called Antenora. And it's called Antenora because Antenora of Troy, which was the city that the Greeks opened up for the Romans. Antenora is the circle reserved for the people who betrayed their homelands and country. While they're there, Dante accidentally kicks one of the heads with his foot, and the soul cries why he had to be so cruel to him. And Dante asks Virgil for a moment of time to clarify the incident. And while he's clarifying the incident, Dante asks him, "What's your name?" And the soul angrily replies a mirrored question. And this upsets Dante, so Dante just grabs him by the hair and starts pulling it and demands the soul to answer Dante's questions. The other soul then yells out Botobachi, which is the name of the soul Dante's pulling the hair of. And Dante then says, I'm living and I'll tarnish your name if you don't answer my questions. But then he just keeps ignoring Dante, so Dante just ends up moving on with Virgil.
Dante and Virgil continue their walk, and they see two men fighting. One is above the other one, biting his head. Dante, like always, asks them to be identified. They do this and tell their stories. Dante feels satisfied with their stories and keep on walking.
So Dante and Virgil are walking around Circle 9 to get to Ring 4, which they notice at the lake there, Lake Ptolemais, that people are buried, that people are frozen sideways. They're frozen horizontally with their face half frozen. And the lake's named Ptolemais after Ptolemy, who invited his guests to come eat, and then he had them all killed, which is all the people there, they're people who killed their guests.
Virgil and Dante continue their walk to the fourth ring. This ring is called Judah Eka, named after the guy who betrayed Jesus. It's completely cold here and windy. Everyone here is in different poses in the ice. It's so windy that Virgil tells Dante to look up, and he sees Lucifer himself flapping his wings, and that's where all the wind is coming from.
After seeing Lucifer, he doesn't know whether he's dead or alive. He looks at Lucifer, and his size is huge. He notices the difference that if the giants were to stand next to Lucifer, Lucifer would still be enormous compared to the giants. And as he looks at Lucifer, he sees that he has 3 heads opposed to 1. Each head is chewing on a body of a sinner. One head is blue, one head is black, and one head is yellow. The central head is chewing on Judas. He is the one who betrayed Jesus, and he's filleted his skin and is crying for help. The other 2 are Cassius and Bruetto. Gets completely scared and asks Virgil to leave. And whenever Virgil wants to leave, he just told Dante to get on his back, and they both started climbing down Lucifer in a hole that was next to his leg. So they start climbing down, and once they reach the knee, he carefully turns around and starts climbing upward, up his lower part of the leg. And Dante then realizes that this was the center of the earth, so when he turned, they would start looking straight up. And they popped out on a mountain, so they reached purgatory. Thus, the end of Dante's Inferno.
I believe that some parts are appropriate, but other parts is just Dante hatred showing. He did like someone or something that he really hated who did it.
Yeah. I get you. I don't think it's just for him to be pulling on that guy's hair back in Ring 2, and for him to keep pulling on his hair and torture someone in hell already. You get me?
And
He's playing that he's better than them.
And not accepting his promise of taking the glaze off the guys in Ring 3's eyes. He just leaving them like that.
Yeah.
But Dante's a bit of like he's a bit of a dick, but can I say dick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's a bit of a dick, but I think it's just like you're in hell for like doing like bad stuff, and Circle Nine's like the worst one, and like they're the ones that like let down their like people that they were not supposed to let down, so like they deserve the worst.
Yeah. So you agree with, like, those are the type of people that should be in the worst level of hell?
Yeah.
Well, I believe some of them should be there, but some of them just feel like they disappeared out of nowhere just because Dante did like